Imagine a resin or an epoxy that you could remelt and reuse.
That's crazy. It's not sticky. It's washable. What?
With no fumes, no waste. You can use it again and again and again.
Oh my god. Yeah, look at that.
This stuff is crazy.
Right, we are back. This one I want to kind of tailor for lots of other people that may be interested in crafting. They might be worried about the toxic levels of epoxy or UV resin. They may be allergic. There's lots of reasons why some people are limited with resins and epoxies, but out comes this stuff. So this is a form of plastic which you heat in hot water, and it's then malleable. You can then mold it to different shapes, different designs, and when you're bored of it, you just repeat the process. So this pack could last you as long as you want it to. So I got this on Amazon. As you can see, you can't read a thing, but this also comes in a white packet. Now this one is actually biodegradable, so yeah, that's pretty cool, and it works in the same way. So this one here melts at a lower temperature. This one melts at 62 degrees Celsius. Now I have translated the back of this for you. If you want to pause the video, there is the full translation. So feel free to read that. So this one melts at a slightly higher temperature, 80 degrees Celsius. But in theory, we could use this stuff the same way that we use resin. Okay, we're limited to some things. I mean, with the white stuff, you could color this how you want, but bear in mind, if you are thinking about the environment, use additives that are also kind to the environment. I mean, I wouldn't go using this for the added bonus that it's biodegradable and then go and add a microplastic such as a glitter. So just bear that in mind. There's lots of different ways I'm gonna try and show lots of different techniques, new things with this stuff in future videos. If you haven't hit that sub button, do it now, because there is going to be more coming. So we have a selection of colors. Let's get it open. I've never touched this stuff before. I do not know how easy it is to work with, but we're going to find out together. So there are 24 pieces in total. Let's take one out and just see how strong it is. So this one is with, it's like a clear with a glitter. It's quite bendy. It is quite bendy. But then I really think, will it harden if we heat it and use it? That is the question. I don't know. Shall we find out? So I haven't got a kettle in my studio, so I'm having to do things the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to go and boil some hot water on my cooker. Now, safety, bear in mind that we are working with hot water, so just be mindful of that. So I've got my hot water. The steam is mainly because my studio is cold. So I'm going to go in. I did just start filming this, but I had my phone in the wrong orientation, so it's a little bit soft because it's just been in the water for a moment. So I'm just going to pop that in. It does float, which I just realized a moment ago. You didn't catch my in the moment surprise because it was in the wrong format. So at least I said in that bit I just recorded, at least if you was to lose it in a swimming pool or something, it would be easier to find because it would be floating on the surface. It's not quite the same when you have to say it again. So I'm going to leave that in there for a couple of minutes just to soften up. Okay, I've been prodding and poking it. I think it's ready. I'm not sure. I'm just going to dab it on some tissue just to take off any excess water. like so. So I'm just going to break some off and just see how it works in my cabochon mold. Just push it in, spread it about. I'm not sure it was ready, you know. It doesn't feel that soft. Maybe a sturdier mold would have been better. That's working better now, actually. Giving it some support from the underneath. It does begin to set fairly quickly. But I suppose I could always chuck that back in the water to soften it up a bit. Let's do this one down here also. So what I'm thinking as well, what you could do with this is brush your molds. If you do like chameleon powders and brush your molds and then use, say, the black one, it should in theory pick up that chameleon powder, but bear in mind that when you want to use it again, that chameleon powder is also going to be in the stuff. Well, let's wait for that to cure. I say cure like it's resin. Just wait for it to harden. Ignore the state of this mold. It has seen much better days, but I've cleaned this one up here. I just want to see, out of interest, whether this would pick up on any of the holographic detail in the mold. I mean, if it does, it's definitely something worth exploring. Imagine that holographic jewelry that we could just melt when we want and use again, especially with the black, because the black and holographics really do pop. Just firmly pushing that down. Sorry for the wobble, just as an experiment. Let's see what happens. As I've said about chameleon powders, I'm going to give it a try and just see if it works. If it does, it is a bonus. And then I'm just going to heat up some of the black stuff there. So that was just from the Let's Resin little 4 set of chameleon powders. Again, just make sure it is super dry, especially if using mica powders or chameleon powders. And what you could do also is cut this before you put it in the water. That would probably be easier. I'm just going to push that in. I'm not too worried about the shape if it's not perfect for now, because it is just me experimenting with the stuff. To see how it works. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks, and to all the congratulations for hitting 80k. Thank you very, very much. LD. Okay, so as that one is drying, hardening, we'll check the others. I think they've had long enough. I mean, come on. If you didn't know, and I was to show you this or post this on a group somewhere, you'd think that was resin, wouldn't you? Okay, it's fairly plain, but as I said, I think we can unlock so much with this stuff. And the good thing about it as well is that you could make your own molds by using it. You could shape it how you want, pour silicone over the top, wait for the silicone to dry, and there you have your own molds. Right, that one's got some imperfections, but it actually looks like a stone, a natural stone effect. It's really, really cool. And this can always be cut down afterwards if it's overhanging, if it's got lips. Let's just see how easy that would be with some scissors. Super, super easy. And I think this needs to cool down just a little bit more maybe. But you could fix these, you could attach these to earrings, necklaces, all sorts, with a pinch bail on there. And then when you get bored of it, as I say, chuck it back in some hot water and reuse it. It's genius. I know this stuff's been around for a long time, but I think this is a great alternative for those who can't use resin. Let's see if the holographic has come off. I'm not holding up much hope. Oh my God. Yeah, look at that. So with no, that's crazy. No resin. And you could just, I need to try this with the black. You could just melt that down. There's no additives to it. Just melt it down and change its shape whenever you want to suit anything you need. That's crazy. So I've just put the rest of the black in there. It's not perfect because my water was cooling down, so I don't know if it's going to work this time. But I don't care. I just want to see what it looks like with the black. Let's see if the chameleon powder's worked. This is absolutely insane, guys. Ah, so it hasn't really picked it up. It has. Oh, that's amazing. Does it come off though? It's not rubbing off. I mean, it's on there. So I didn't know what to expect with this stuff. I didn't think we were going to get these kind of results. It's a bit of a game changer, to be honest with you, especially for those who can't, like I say, I keep saying it, that can't use resin. And also with some countries, they're very limited on what they can and can't ship into their countries, and epoxy, due to its chemical states and levels, it's quite difficult for some people to get certain things shipped, like UV resins, for instance. I get lots of people in my comments saying, I can't get UV resin in my country. What can I use? This is quick. This is, okay, a little bit slower than UV resin, but it's very, very quick. And the ingredients, this could be shipped anywhere. You've got no worries. There's no hazardous materials. It's not in liquid form. You've got no risk of spillage. There's so many pros with this stuff. It's unreal. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. It's not sticky. It's washable. What? Okay, let's see if this come out. I know it wasn't quite as soft as I would have wanted it to be, but again, it's just a wow. You can see, because it wasn't soft enough, where I've pushed it in different amounts, you can kind of see. But then where I have pushed some bits together that were still warm, you can barely see the joins. That's crazy. I think a bit more heat and a bit more time, that would be absolutely perfect. Look at that. Okay, so the downside is that it does still remain quite soft compared to an epoxy or a UV resin. But imagine if you could do this with epoxy or UV resin. I'd much rather have that softness, but still not lose the detail, but be able to work with it again and again and again and again. It's crazy. I feel I need to try something else, but I'm not sure. There's so much I want to try. There really is, but I might have to save it for other videos. I feel I need to try it and see if this stuff will also copy the holographic, because this one melts at a lower temperature. It's a different product. I just want to see it and compare it. The reason why is because for those that are watching for the biodegradable option, not just the allergy option, I've got something for you guys as well, that you can create your own jewelry. Okay, I know there's other products out there that you can do this with, but there's not many that I know of that you can reuse. So this one is different. It's in pellet form instead of bars. I'm just gonna tip quite a bit in there. It doesn't matter if I tip too much because I can just remelt it and use it again. And any bits that you've cut off, keep hold of them. Maybe just have different pots for different colours. Right, we're not off to a good start because I tried to dry it the same way I did the bar, and it's a lot more tackier. So it's taken some of the tissue with it. I think maybe the bars are better, or my water was just a bit too hot. Whoops. But we're going to try it anyway and just see. Get off! It's really sticky. I do prefer, at the moment, I do prefer the bar form. It's a lot easier to handle. This is just sticking. But again, that might be user error. I think it is. Stay in there. It's just sticking to my gloves. Just right, okay, I'm not going to perfect this one. I'm just going to see if it's... Look at that. Right. I'm going to try again, because I think that was too warm. So I'm get your words out, Daniel. Remelting some more, but this is still malleable. It's got the tissue in there. I don't really want to use that now, but it's still malleable for quite some time. I've taken my gloves off this time. Hopefully it would be easier. See, now it doesn't feel warm enough. I'm just going to try a section just to see if it also picks up that detailing. I might as well just fill in what I can. The only thing I don't like about the pellet form is that it holds water. Unlike the bar, the water is in between the pellets. I think it's cooling down too quick now. It's not going in. We'll stick at that. So a bit more about the pellet form, because it is a stronger version. This is great for repairs. I've seen a couple of videos. It's really super strong, like for glasses, for plastic repairs. It sets really solid. Also, going back to this black one, it has a really nice, like, wispiness, smokiness to it, which I think over time, as you use it and mix it, it's probably going to disappear, but I think that's really cool. Right, let's see if the white morph has picked it up or not. No, it hasn't, which is a massive shame. It is a massive shame. I wonder why. And it's left like a different kind of texture. I thought I saw some colour there, just there, some. But again, and up here, it could be user error. I could have done that wrong. But again, you could colour this with certain things and still make. I just don't think it's as good as this stuff. Right, I had another couple of goes. As always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment. If you haven't subbed, hit that button for me. I had another try with the white. It still didn't quite pick it up. Again, it did in some areas. I don't think this stuff is okay for holographic details. But it is super strong stuff. You can't break that. It's really strong. Good for other uses maybe. So I had another go with the black one, but I put a bit more effort into it this time. I demolded it a little bit too early, so there's a fingerprint up there. But you can see it still kept that holographic detail really nicely. So I put a bail on that one. How strong is it? It's still, as mentioned, bendy, but I can't snap it easily. It is strong. It's very durable, very bendable. See, the thicker it is, the stronger it's going to be. But what more can you ask for? There's something that you can just melt down and use it again. Right, let me know what you think in the comments. There are ways of doing such things with glue guns, I suppose, but I haven't really looked into that side of things as to whether they're biodegradable, the temperatures compared to this, the reusability, if that's a word. I think this is epic. Right, I hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.